Welcome back, everyone. I'd like to show you an interesting, counterintuitive, powerful analysis that I came up with while working with one of our customers, and in leveraging a feature that is a part of analysis services only in terms of time series analysis. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So we're going to bring up our data source, which is our ITSM data set. And the question we're trying to answer is, if I look across all time and we want to look at the volume of activity over the years and see if the total incident volume is correlated with a spike in average resolution time. So in other words, if there's more activity, there should be a higher resolution time, right? Let me show you what we found, and this is with this one particular customer. It's not with all data sets. So we'll start with a very simple volume measure of total incidents. Then we're going to use one of our interesting date dimension attributes here, which is submit date, week of year. So you can take any date field and use this. Okay. Now there's no date filter on this, so this is across all of time, multiple years of data. Okay, we're just looking at in the weeks 1 through 52, when there is a spike in volume, how does that affect resolution time? And you would think it would be higher. Okay, so we're going to insert our chart now. Look at our line chart. And okay, you can see over time, first of all, in the time series analysis, you'll see that, of course, around the end of the year, there's a drop-off in activity with Christmas, Thanksgiving, and a lot of that is made up in the early weeks of the year after New Year's, particularly in week 2. And so there are definitely certain peaks in the seasonal volume, and that's across all time, 3, 5, 10 years of data, however much you have, the more the better. The second and I think counterintuitive piece of analysis here is when we bring in average resolution time. So let's do that. Bring in average resolve time, and what I want to do is put this data into a bar and line chart. Okay, so we'll have total incidents be the bar, and then we'll have the line on the secondary axis. Okay, click OK. So this is what we found, right? When volume is higher, resolution times are lower. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So have we accounted for personnel? So that's maybe one of the first questions you asked. Is there some different mix of subcontractors versus full-time employees? Okay, that's one dimension we can bring in. Another question we can ask is this the same for critical or high priority incidents? Okay, that's another question you can ask. Third is, does this change based on the different assignment group? In other words, are some directors or managers bucking this particular trend? And the answer to that is within your data. So it will be different for everyone, but the answer is yes in certain cases. But I thought that was interesting. Good organizational view here to show you a little bit of counterintuitive analysis. You would definitely think that, as my head count stays the same and incident volume increases, that my average resolve time would increase. But in this case, the answer to that was no. So your data will always vary, but this is a quick and easy one to put together. And I did want to show off one of the different date dimension features that is available within analysis services, which is that week of year. This can also be day of year, so you can look at that historically, month of year, so a number of different ways to look at that. You can look at it also by fiscal years. So a number of different ways to slice and dice this, but this is the simplest way to put it together to start your research within your data. Thanks for your time, and let us know, as always, if you have any questions.